What's up, friends? My name is Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Monday night stuff. We're gonna work on the 3 tiny lifters tonight. Look at them. Look at them. Not 1, not 2, but 3. Yeah, we're gonna try to get all 3 of these guys up in the air tonight. I'm sure we won't be able to, but we'll start working on them, and then Whoop Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will finish them up, get them up in the air. We're going to take a look at a bunch of Tiny Whoop gates tonight as well. I now have Newbie Drones gates, tinywhoop.com's gates, which they don't have at the moment. They're not discontinued, but they just don't have them at the moment. And we're going to look at BetaFPV's gates. Mainly what we're going to look at is the size of the gates. They're all 3 different sizes. The Newbie Drone gates are the smallest, the Tiny Whoop gates are the middle size, the BetaFPV gates are the biggest. Now we don't really have to look at them, but we'll fly through them so that you guys can see how big they are. Of course, this is a Q&A stream, so leave any questions you've got in the chat. Speaking of the chat, Kiz Bartlett was first, Left Step was next, Tuner Taxi, Huff 19, Imp FPV, Gemfan Hobby, Left Step, A Cable, Compost Pile, Aircon, Alec Dvornik, Dead Chicken, Doc, I Need a Win, A Cable, Felix Torres, Chris NL FPV, Paul McDonald, Frank Nicholas, T-Bird, PJ, Kiz Bartlett, and Sleepy CBR. What's up, everybody? I don't need this. Hold on. Actually, I can throw this back up here. Got a little bit more light on these guys. There you go. the wall of glides is back up to full strength, which, man, it's been a long time since that's happened. And I also talked to Bob today from FPV Cycle, and he is we've been talking about 7-inch arms. The Cineglide down there is going to get 7-inch arms in 6mm carbon, so that should be interesting. I don't fly it very much, so I figured and it's got 2507 motors on it, so I figured if it's got 7-inch arms with 7-inch biblades, that they'll probably be a half decent match to the 2507 motor, and then I'll just be more sort of I'll have a better chance of actually flying the damn thing, basically. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Did a bunch more work today with Brandon's Baked Beans. He does tuning for $1 a minute, which is an incredible deal. He hangs out in chat here all the time. He's on my Discord server, and he's also on FPV Exchange. If you need tuning help, he's your guy. Although, man, we are having a hell of a time with this Cinesplore that I put the 2104 motors on. I don't know. I don't know. I'm very confused. This rig was fine on the Newbie Drone 2004s. The only thing I can think of is that these 2104s are making a lot of extra power, and I guess maybe that's causing problems. I don't know. It's perplexing as to what's going on. Maybe it's an electrical noise thing. Maybe I need to put a proper capacitor on this. It's a big old ESC, so I thought it would be fine. The other weird thing is I put these motors onto the one of the other Cinesplores, and it was just as unruly. So I kind of ruled out some of the other things that it might be. But yeah, that rig right now, it's just got the capacitor up on the XT30. And I'm also thinking about moving it over to XT60 too. So this might be a good excuse to, as much as I don't want to, this might be a good time to tear it down, switch it over to an XT60 and put one of these fancy FPV Cycle capacitors with the little spike absorber things on them. So that's probably what I'll do. The other thing that I'm thinking about doing is switching the motors out. Since, you know, this is now 2 rigs in a row that I've put these 2104s onto, and there's been these crazy problems. Yeah. I'm going to do the capacitor thing because it's just good. It's just good practice to have a capacitor on there. I really don't think that's the issue, but I really want these motors to work. So yeah, I'll do the capacitor thing first. And if that doesn't help, I am going to try a different motor. What I am going to try is an FPV Cycle 23mm pancake motor, which is like a 2303.5, I think. Because it's been a long time since I've run that motor, and I just kind of want to revisit it. So yeah, if the capacitor doesn't help, I will be swapping it to a different motor, a motor that's known to be like good to go, and we'll see what's going on. So the saga continues. I also put this little QAV Cine 2.5-inch pusher rig back up in the air today, and there's all kinds of issues with it. Kind of similar issues, like just a lot of noise, a lot of junk in the gyro. Yeah, I'm 4.3 has been phenomenal on tiny whoops and 5-inch rigs. Everything but Cinewhoops. Thus far, 4.3 has been a bit of a nightmare on Cinewhoops. Although I can't really say that because it's completely fine on the 2004 lightweight Cinesplore back there. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just frustrated that 4.3 is a very different tuning experience, and I feel like I have to completely relearn how to tune. And you know, I've been learning how to tune for almost 6 years now, so it's really frustrating when yeah, all the work that you've kind of put in is just gone. So I'm admittedly very, very frustrated, but I'll stick to it because what else am I going to do? Quit? Can't do that. This is my full-time job. If you want to see these live streams continue forever, help your boy out. Join my Patreon. It's going to give you a ton of benefits. 10 whole cents a day. Access to the Discord server, which is just filled with amazing people. Access to a YouTube playlist of private videos, Patreon only live streams, sketchy flying that I don't want to be public, all kinds of fun stuff. A bunch of tech articles over on the Patreon page, lots of good stuff, well worth 10 cents a day. If you have more than 10 cents a day, you can also get into bi-weekly giveaways. I do 4 giveaways every other Monday. This is not one of those Mondays. A week from today, there will be 4 giveaways. So yeah, you can do that. Get your gambling addiction on. If you want to talk directly to me in the live chat, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV and it'll light up on orange like these beautiful people have already done. Alec Dvornik says hello. ImpFPV says heyo. CiottiFPV and the rest of the filthy crew. Why is it... Scroll up, motherfucker. What's... Oh. Kiz Bartlett says, hey, collective, how did the Elton John song go again? Hold my gangles. Tinylifter. That's Tiny Dancer. We got that. A Cable says hello. Felix Torres says what's up. Chris NL says hey, CiottiFPV and collective. T-Bird is in the house. Haven't seen him in a minute. What's up, Tyler? How are you, brother? Life has gotten crazy. Hope you've been doing well. Huff19 says is all antenna wire the same? What did you use to repair that broken ceramic tower? Not all antenna wire is the same, but you can kind of use any wire for an antenna and it'll be fine. Personally, I've got a bunch of old RXSR, FR Sky RXSR replacement antennas, and so that's what I use. Whenever I need to make a little antenna, I just chop the active portion of a little... So like any old receiver that you've got, that's got a great little piece of antenna wire on it. If you're never going to use it again, just chop it and use that. It's also... Those are pre-measured, so you don't have to play the game of like, oh, okay, what is it supposed to be, 23.3 millimeters? Oh, well, that looks like it's only 23.6, right? An old receiver has the properly, tuned length of exposed antenna, so yeah, that's what I use. PJ says hello. Denzel the Terrible says hey. Demo FPV says hey. Gemfan Hobby with a link that doesn't exist, and we're caught up. All right, so guess what time it is, friends? I stole that from Mighty Car Mods. Go check them out here on YouTube. It's the best car channel on YouTube. I did a little newbie drone order to get these newbie drone gates, which you're going to see in a little bit here. So that was the big thing in that order, and they're hanging up. But I snagged a couple of extra things while I was at it. I didn't even realize Gemfan has 65 millimeter biblades here for like toothpicks. These are pretty awesome. So yeah, snagged a couple of sets of these. I am going to be building some 1S. I'm going to build a 1S toothpick and a 2S Vista toothpick. So yeah, these will be fun on the little 1S rig, and we'll also try them out on the 2S rig, but they probably won't be quite enough for that. TBS has this syringe with flux in it, and I've been meaning to get... There's a couple companies that do this, but I just happened to stumble across it there, and I said to hell with it. I would rather get one of like the actual flux companies, but this is probably totally fine. I dig this because it's got the little syringe tip, so you can just put it exactly where you need it. I also like that this is like a paste. It's not a... Well, I guess you could call it a paste. It's a little bit thicker. That's what she said. I've got a... I always recommend a solder pen. Flux pen. With the little yellow tip on it. This is great, but the flux in here is a liquid, so it kind of runs down. This is really nice because it's this more gelatinous sort of consistency. So if I need a big blob of it on top of like a battery lead or something like that, I can put a big blob there and it'll stay there. And then when I bring the tip of the soldering iron down, it'll just hammer on that. So yeah, this is super cool. It's called TBS Flux Paste. Flux type NC559 ASM UV. So yeah, this will be just nice to have. Looks like it comes with a nice little cap on it. And then they give you the little plunger here. Although they've got a little piece of plastic in here. I'm not going to touch that plastic. I'm going to leave it, I think. And so you got to kind of prime it. There it goes. And actually, I'm just going to squirt this into the squirt a little bit into the garbage can, just to get the plunger started. There we go. All right, cool. So yeah, this will be nice to have, I'm sure. Yeah, that plunger is like hanging out all janky like. I don't love that, but whatever. It'll be fine. It's on the desk. Ooh, they give you an extra little little syringe. That's nice. I snagged one of the Joshua Bardwell cables, of course. This is a really cool product that I didn't even know needed to exist, but definitely needs to exist. The problem with all of the other goggle cables for your to power your goggles off of a battery in your pocket is that they just have in the little brick, they've just got like a 5-volt regulator or whatever, 9-volt, whatever it may be. So you plug your battery into this and it regulates it to 5 volts or 9 volts, whatever the hell it is. And then if you keep it plugged in for too long, it's going to wreck your battery. It's going to just pull your battery all the way down. And not only is it going to wreck your battery, but at some point it's just going to shut off. So at some point your goggles are just going to shut off. This is super slick because it doesn't, it just scales the voltage down. It scales 6S or 5S or 4S, whatever you plug it into, down to the appropriate 2S voltage. So your voltage readout in your goggles is true and correct. So as your voltage readout in your goggles goes down, eventually the goggles are going to say, hey, your battery's going low. There's your warning that A, you're about to wreck your battery by over discharging it, but also you know to switch the battery out so that your goggles don't just shut off mid-flight. So this is like kind of important. Like this is like throw away your like if you have, you know, one of these XT60 to barrel plug cables, like kind of throw it away. Unless it's an unregulated one, I guess. If it's an unregulated one and it's just feeding the full voltage to your goggles and then the goggles are giving you the voltage readout, yeah, I guess you're fine then. But if you have a regulated XT60 to barrel plug cable, you should throw it away and snag one of these, in my opinion. So yeah, very, very cool. I'm pretty shocked that this didn't exist. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this should have already been a thing, but who cares? Because now it is, and we all benefit from Joshua's brilliance. And then I grabbed a couple of, so Newbie Drone is the spot for 2mm spacers. They're kind of expensive, to be honest. Like it's basically $1 per little tiny anodized aluminum spacer, which is sort of absurd. Like this is $30. This is $25 in like tiny little M2 spacers. So I mean, like, it's kind of a ridiculous amount of money, but they're really nice to have, and they look cool. And I can't think of any other things to justify what an incredible waste of $25 that was. But yeah, sometimes you just gotta waste $25 to look cool. If you're not gonna fly good, at least you gotta look good. You know how it is. Let's see if they wrote me a little note. Newbie Drone usually writes me a little note. Let's see what they said. Depends on who packs the order. They just wrote thanks. I always write them a nice little note in the notes, and they wrote thanks with a little smiley face. Yeah. Love Newbie Drone, man. They are definitely one of my favorites. Oh, look! Unlimited cockroach frame warranty with a little QR code. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna throw that into a giveaway. And then they always give this awesome little sticker sheet. If you didn't know, on this little sticker sheet that they give you with every one of your orders, these stickers around the outside, these long ones, they are for the ducts on your Tiny Whoop. You can put them up, they're like perfectly sized for the ducts there. So yeah, now you know. And they have a bunch of different flavors. As you can see, these ones are black and white. These ones are yellow. They seem to change these seasonally. Yeah, Newbie Drone Summer, so it's a seasonal thing. It's pretty cool. And they always give you a little gummy candy, which is awesome. I give this to the kiddos. Lychee gummy candy. I missed the table by a country mile just now. So yeah, we're gonna fly the 75mm Whoop around a little bit. I just have one battery charged, but I want to show you guys these the 3 different sizes of gates. Let's actually do that now. Let's do that now while I'm talking about it and thinking about it. That was everything in the order, right? The last thing in the order are the gates, and you're gonna get to see them in a second. So let me get the VRX plugged in real quick here, and we will fly around just a little bit. I think just in the basement. I don't think I'm gonna go upstairs. All right. So this is a Mob6 7 V4 frame with tinywhoop.com EX0802 30,000 kV motors. Actually, they're Hex 0802, which is the same thing as the Happymodel EX0802s. And then it's a Mob6 ELRS AIO, BT 2.0 with a TrueRC little tiny short singularity. And this is actually the AIO that I replaced the ceramic antenna on. And then it's the Mob6 6 camera as well, which is the Runcam Nano 3. This is the best. Oh, and then we're going to run a EMax 300 mAh battery that I converted over to BT 2.0. This is a GNB battery, and Quad66 absolutely loves this. He says that this 300 mAh battery is like the best that ever existed. And after flying it a little bit, I totally understand what he's talking about. It is pretty rad. So, yeah, if you need a big battery for a 75mm Tiny Whoop, and you don't need a ton of capacity, right? MAH. That's going to be your go-to for sure. I mean, it should be at least. Where's that? Where's the Express LRS module? What do I do with it? Maybe we won't be flying that if I can't find that module. Did I put it over here like a dummy? I did. I put it where it doesn't belong. All right, so here we go. This is what we needed. This is the BetaFPV 1-watt module they very kindly sent to me, and then I moved it over into the white plastic to match the transmitter. All right, let's crash this 75mm rig, because that's just what happens. The 65mm rigs are so much lighter. They're much easier to fly. So these and they're what I'm used to. So this 75mm rig is just like, it just gets played pinball with.
Welcome to
do I have goggles? Where are those analog goggles at?
Timer 1 up.
Can I use this backup set? Nope, because I don't have a battery.
RSSI
Over
low.
here. Grab my
Low
Googles.
battery.
All right, that's better. So yeah, giant man almost steps on Tiny Whoop. Oh, Godzilla. Guillermo says, you send me your stickers and make me so happy. I love that, Guillermo. Love that for you. Fat Pastor got his sticker pack today. He says thanks. You're welcome. Hey, the sticker packs. There's only 2 of them left. There's only 2 sticker packs left. Somebody remind me in chat, and I'll show you what stickers are in there. It's the old school CiottiFPV logo and holographic though, and the new school logo and holographic. And then you pick either a Micro King, Jib Jab or Bing Bong. It's up to you. Is the VTX set up properly in this one? Okay, it is. There was a bunch of video noise just now. Is there still video noise over there? No. Are we fine? Alright, so, good lord, this rig is just so fast. So these are the BetaFPV gates here. So what I want you guys to notice is the size difference. These are the BetaFPV gates. They're huge. These are the tiny whoop gates that you can't get right now. They're medium size. And then these are the newbie drone gates that you can only buy 5 at a time. So, oh, what is that? Why? Yeah, you can only buy 5 of these at a time. Oh boy. I thought I could maybe power loop that, but really? You're that jammed in the couch? Hiya. Hiya. Oh god. So yeah, I just mainly wanted you guys to look at a core temperature warning for 10 minutes, and look at the size of these gates. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, like this whole 75mm thing, like it's just silly for inside. I know that Infinity Loop swears by it, and my god, because of how much he swears by it, I have tried so hard to make it work, and I just don't understand. I really don't. It is so much less accurate. It is so much harder to fly. I mean, it's if nothing else, it's a really good example of how much better of a pilot he is than me. The fact that he can do anything with these 75mm rigs is really wild. Yeah, I'm just, you know, I say it all the time. I'm not that great of a pilot, and this is a really good example of that. But that's okay. You know, you don't have to be a great pilot. Like, there's nothing that says you have to be the world's greatest pilot. That's gonna be a problem. Yeah, that's on the drop cloth. This thing is acting really weird too. Probably because of it probably has something to do with that core temperature warning. Oh, well, it definitely has to do with the fact that the battery just fell out of the damn thing. But yeah, this thing is having some serious issues. I gotta be honest though, I bet you that battery was hanging out the entire time. Let me take a quick look. This thing has had some issues though. Yeah, no, it's fine now. That battery was hanging out. It had a little dingleberry. Oh god. There's that core warning again. I'm trying to get that like split S into the hell am I? Split S into the other gate. I could probably do it with a 65mm rig. Woo! Oh boy, easy. So yeah, there you go. There's your comparison of tiny whoop gate sizing. The only ones that are currently available today are these newbie drone ones, which is a 5-pack, and it's a great deal for 5 of them. They are a little on the small side. I really like these tiny whoop gates a lot, and they're like the middle size, and then the Weebly gates are amazing. The only problem I'm having with the Weebly gates is that they're the best quality of all the gates for sure, and they're the biggest, which I love, but because of those two things, they end up being a little heavy, and I use these little rubber guys, these little cable clips here. I have these stuck up to the drop ceiling all over the place, 2 per gate, to hang the gates in. The gate clips like really nicely into this little guy. And the newbie drone gates and the tiny whoop gates are super lightweight and kind of cheap and flimsy. And they hang no problem at all, and they don't fall down. The Weebleed gates, they're so nice, right? This is like, it's a good problem to have, that they either fall out of the clip or they rip the clips completely off. So that's why I've got the Weebleed gates like on the floor, which is fine. I like having gates on the floor like that. Like, that's really cool to have like a gate down low, and then you can like backflip up through the ones hanging off the ceiling. So like, it's fine. It's just, yeah, if you're specifically getting gates in order to hang from the ceiling with the little rubber clips like I do, yeah, the tiny whoop and newbie drone gates are a little bit lighter, and they're going to hang on to those little clips a little bit better. You might be able to just do like 3 or 4 clips, and that would probably be enough to hang the Weebleed gates up. I'll probably play around with that. Once I find like a good spot where I always want the Weebleed gate to be, I'll probably do that. Hey, here's something else you should know about this EMax 300 mAh battery. It fits a little loose in the battery tray of the Mobula 7 V4 frame. So yeah, I mean, you can either put like, what I'm going to do is put a little bead of welder E6000 on here, and that should be enough grip for it to not fall out. Or you can just take a piece of electric tape and wrap it around the body of the battery, and then you'll be fine. But yeah, keep that in mind. Don't let the battery keep falling out like I've been. It's super annoying, and there's just no reason to do that to yourself. This is awesome. This is like solid. This little part with the regulator in it is like a nice, like chunky metal, or like alloy or aluminum or something like that. It's got Joshua's logo on it. Yeah, this is a really well-made little piece. See it? See his little logo there? Whee, JB. Yeah, well made. Very, very cool. This will have a permanent home in my flight bag, and I don't typically use those. I don't typically use the battery in the pocket method. I prefer the battery up on the goggle strap. Yeah, technically the battery could blow up and burn the side of your head, but it's, you know, we take really good care of our goggle batteries, right? We don't slam them into the ground. We don't over discharge them. So the chances of that happening are astronomically slim. All right, let me get caught up on chat here, and then we'll start farting around with these Tinylifters. Tinylifter is a name that I sort of coined. These rigs are meant to pick up a Insta360 GO 2, and the Insta360 GO 2 is 26 grams, which is really heavy for a tiny whoop. Thus the name like Tinylifter, right? Because like when we talk about like Cinelifters, they're picking up really heavy cameras, and they don't fly like a freestyle rig. You know, they fly like a Cinewhoop. And so, yeah, Tinylifter seemed like it's a name that made the most sense to kind of denote the fact that, yeah, this is not a freestyle rig. This is more of like just a tiny little Cinewhoop. So yeah, kind of weird that we're calling the tiny whoop a tiny lifter, right? In theory, this should be called the Cinewhoop, and this should be called, I guess this should be called a micro lifter or something like that, right? But yeah, I mean, I feel like tiny lifter works pretty well as a description for these little guys. Maybe I'm wrong. Who gives a shit? All right. I figured something out. You guys may have noticed that whenever I played flight footage at the beginning and the end of the streams, since moving to the Mac Mini, it would stutter and freeze and shit. It's the hard drive enclosure, actually. I bought this, I don't know who it's made by, but on Amazon I bought a 4-drive hard drive case, I don't know. And I had a sneaking suspicion that might be the cause of it. So I have another little hard drive cradle where you just take the bare hard drive and just slide it down into it. and it's got 2 slots for 2 hard drives. So I hooked that up. This was like my first troubleshoot. I hooked that up and I dropped my 2 big hard drives with all the flight footage into them. And yeah, at the beginning of the stream today, there was no freezing, no stuttering. So I need to find another hard drive enclosure. So yeah, back to Amazon we go, because I've got 4 hard drives that I really want to use. I'll probably keep the little drop the drive down into the top of it thing, because at some point I want to snag a couple of extra 4 GB hard drives so that once a month I can just have this little cradle thing and just drop a couple of extra 4 TB hard drives that I've got in there and just manually back everything up. I don't trust RAID. I don't trust Time Machine. I don't trust anything at this point because I've been burned by all of them over the last 20 years. So yeah, and that little setup where you just slot it in there works really well. So I'll probably keep that for the monthly backups, but then what I really want to find is a fast 4 SATA drive hard drive enclosure. So if you guys know of one, I would love for it to be the aluminum color to match the Mac Mini. If you guys know of one, let me know, because this one was, I don't know, this one got good reviews on Amazon, but Amazon has a problem, has a really big problem with its reviews just being totally, it's easy to game the system. I used to work for a furniture company, and one of my jobs was to help them game the system with Amazon reviews. I'm ashamed that was a part of my job, but you know, everybody's doing it. Ugh. It's just, it sucks. It sucks. Because it used to be good. Amazon reviews used to be like amazing, and you could rely on them, but they are 100% broken nowadays. So don't trust the Amazon reviews. Look through the reviews and look for like the reviews where they kind of trash on it, but also kind of say good things about it. Those are the reviews that are potentially real. Because when they pay people to review shit, usually it's only good, you know, they're paying for a good review, or just sending it to friends and family, or having friends and family buy it and then leave a you know, completely good review. Almac FPV says, what's up from one FetTech fanboy to another? Haha. Yeah. That is the farthest thing from me. I gave Kiss and FetTech a try, and it did not do anything well. Huff19 says, thanks, I have a couple of those laying around. That was at 10:16. I wonder what we were talking about. I don't remember what we were talking about. Phil, Fat Pastor says, got the stick. Oh, we got that. Got that from Guillermo. Woo! Bob Noxious says, what's up, Collective and CiottiFPV? What's up, homie? You're probably better now, right, Bob? Because Bartlett says, you need to get yourself a NAS box. What the hell is a NAS box? I'm going to put NAS box into Google, see what it has to say. Oh God, I do not need a NAS box. Jesus Christ, that's expensive. Yeah, I can't afford anything like that. It's got to be super cheap. I'm on an ultra tight budget. Yeah, NAS box is definitely not for me. Rodney says, that's a trap. I'm going to send you a pic of my rig right now. They work too well. I have about 4 or those things. What, Rodney? Rodney, you talking about the thing where you just slot the hard drives down into the top of it? I'm really tempted. They sell those with 4 slots. And I'm tempted to just get one of those because this one works really well. The only problem I have with it, it's very loud. When the hard drives spin up, there's nothing around them to quiet them down. So it's just like, yeah, it's super loud. That makes less of a difference here, I will admit. And I could put it, I have like a shelf down there that I could probably put it on. And that would put like a couple layers of plywood in between the mic and it. So maybe I will do that. But I kind of still like the idea of like this enclosure that I have, where they're boxed in and there's a fan on the back of the enclosure to try to keep them cool too. So yeah, I don't know. Kevin Sumner says, are you aware of Fake Spot? It helps you audit Amazon product listings for fake reviews. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I guess it's a website where you can like flag reviews as fake, and then they get reported or something. That's pretty slick. That is pretty slick. Abraham says the best thing I ever did with my Kiss Flight controller was put Betaflight 4.3 on it. Yeah, it's a huge step into 2022, putting Betaflight onto FETech or Kiss anything, because that shit's all stuck in the 1900s. Not quite the 1900s, but like 2019, 2018, 2017. That's basically where Kiss is in terms of their flight firmware. Rodney says yes, the ones from Mediasonic. They also have enclosed ones. Is that what I have? Mediasonic? Let me see. I'm super curious now. Because Mediasonic sounds super familiar. So for the record, the one that's very slow is Yotta Master, YOTTA Master. And then the little slot tray one is made by Fideco, Fideco. Why is the carpet all wet? Oh, right, because I took the air conditioner out of the window. I got the window. Man, it is gorgeous here in Georgia. It has been just beautiful the past couple of days. Nice and cool out. I've got the window open back there. You guys might be able to hear some crickets or cicadas. Bob Noxious says I'm feeling better, can lift up to 40 pounds and drive. Nice. Getting in walks every other day, still struggling with sleep though. I know all about that. I haven't been able to sleep right in 20 years. All right, cool. Let's play around with some tiny lifters. What do you say, friends? Fill the chat up with any questions that you've got, and yeah, let's get to work. We got work to do. Fucking around, talking, bullshitting. Get out of here with this. Get out of here with that. I think that's everything that I wanted to kind of show you guys and talk about with you guys. Yeah. All right, so we've got 3 tiny lifters here. Originally I built one and I had a really hard time with it, so I built a second one so that I could back-to-back some stuff. And then, I don't know what happened. Somehow a third one got built. So, yeah, but having 3 of them is going to be really nice. Because I'm trying a bunch of different motors. This guy here is on the Newbie Drone Flow 1102 10,000 kV motors. That's why it's on quad blades. 10,000 kV. All of these are going to be running on 2S. 10,000 kV is a little bit low, but what I'm thinking is 1102 is hopefully enough stator volume to handle this heavier quad blade prop. And what might be cool about this one is that this quad blade prop is going to be the quietest. So this is going to be like the ultra stealth one. Although the flip side is these motors are heavier and these props are heavier. So this thing is going to have to make the most thrust out of all 3 of these. And thrust makes noise. Moving air makes noise. So there's a chance that this actually won't be any quieter. But I aim to find out. This currently has a Flywoo Express LRS receiver on it, which just doesn't fucking work. The Flywoo ELRS receivers are just out of spec, and they just don't work. So I snagged a couple of Happymodel EP2s, so I need to switch this on over to that. This also has a Newbie Drone V3 AIO on it, and these Newbie Drone flow motors plug directly in, which is awesome. This guy right here has the BetaFPV 1102 18,000 kV motors. That kV is a little too high, so these motors are going to need to get motor scaled down. I also need to decide if I'm either going to convert these motors to the little Newbie Drone plugs, the JST 1.25 plugs, or if I'm just going to direct solder these to the AIO. That little 65 millimeter Newbie Drone Acro B rig that I've decided to tear down, it's got me worried that one of the problems with that rig is the silly little JST 1.25 motor connectors. So I'm a little bit hesitant to spend the time swapping this over. I also don't know if I can see that there is a little PCB on these motors. So in theory, I'll be able to just pull the shrimp wrap back and there'll be solder pads there. And I can swap out the leads, but maybe not. So I'm admittedly a little bit undecided. And I actually have a prototype V3 Newbie Drone AIO for this guy, which apparently has a little bit better VTX cooling. And then this guy here, I think this is also going to get a set. Oh, hey, this one is actually going to be pH 2.0 to see how much of a difference there is between pH 2.0 and BT 2.0. These two guys are going to be identical. I'm going to put the same motors on this guy as this guy so that we can have a head-to-head test of BT 2.0 to pH 2.0. And then at some point, after we've figured that out, we'll see. I mean, it kind of depends. If pH... I have a whole bunch of Nitro Nectar Gold pH 2.0 batteries. I would love to be able to use them. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. After that test is done, the motors are going to get switched out on one of these. And in the interim, we'll be able to kind of test this guy with the Newbie Drone 1102s and the quad blades. So yeah, these three are going to get kind of shifted around as I do more and more testing to figure out what's the best motor. Is BT 2.0 worth it? It almost certainly is. But if it's only like a 10-second difference in flight time, then that's a good data point. Then it's not as important to kind of switch it over. So if you've already got 50 pH 2.0 batteries, right, like you don't have to go nuts swapping it over. So let's do the easy thing first, and let's put let's get one of these up in the air, and we're gonna put an EP2 into this guy to replace this Flywoo ELRS receiver, and then I don't know which other one we'll go to next, but let's do the easiest thing first to get a little burst of serotonin. Hopefully it doesn't explode. Abraham says, look into redundant arrays of inexpensive drives, RAIDs. Got a DIY to keep it cheap, but it's not too complicated. I mentioned a minute ago, Abra, that I don't trust RAID arrays. I also don't trust Time Machine. I've been burned, and I've lost years and years and years of photography and or footage in the past, so I'll never do that again. Also, RAID is being dropped from what I saw from someone on YouTube. So RAID is not going to really be much of a thing for much longer, supposedly. Even if it was, though, I just don't trust it. It can go to hell. BetaFPV is in the house. How are you? Paul McDonald says, sent you money for the charger. Thanks, man. Awesome, Paul. I already printed out the shipping label. I just got to throw it in an envelope, and it's on its way to you. Thank you, brother. The charger's done. EVAFPV says, been experimenting with the Hero 11 today. Yeah, I saw that. It looks pretty good. I saw that you were going to be flying it. I saw somebody else that put some still images up from it. It looks pretty damn good. Bob Noxious says, didn't you do a Tiny Trainer build video? Yeah, I did. I did a solderless Tiny Trainer build video, and the fucking thing didn't fly. I put it into into not this frame. And yeah, it was just there were just too many vibes getting into the gyro on 2S. In fairness, there's not really a great 2S AIO, although I am very curious about the Happymodel X12. One of the big things that I want to do with these three builds all being on the newbie. So previously, when I did these Tinylifter builds, I was using like a mishmash of Newbie Drone Acroby V1, V2, and V3 AIOs, and man, that made like troubleshooting a real bitch. So these three builds are all going on to Acroby V3 AIOs. So if none of these three builds work right, then I can pretty confidently say that the Acroby board is not the one to have for this type of a thing. That being said, this is like kind of nuts. Like this is pushing these AIOs like to their absolute bitter limit, and you could probably argue beyond. Like this is not what tiny whoops were meant for. Tiny whoops were not meant to carry a 26-gram dead weight. So yeah, if these don't work, I can't really be that mad at Newbie Drone. But if we can't get these going, I am absolutely gonna. No, I'm not, because the X12 will not fit in here. I mean, I really hate flying that 75mm 1S tiny whoop. So maybe at that point I'll take the 75mm build that you guys are just watching. Maybe I'll take this. I'll put that X12 AIO back into it, set it up for 2S, and put the Goober canopy on it so that I can run these TPU loops up top, and see if we can make a tiny lifter out of a Mob6 ELRS. Maybe, although that is very similar to the solderless build that I did. Not quite though. I think I was still using the Acro B AIO on that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll shift and figure out how to cross that bridge if we get there. But for right now, I'm most excited about this build actually, because I've heard really good things about these Newbie Drone Flow 1102s. The only problem with these motors is that they are a little bit heavy. So I mean, this rig is getting a little fat. But it is 2S, and these are big motors, so they should make enough thrust. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it is. I really like this Cockroach 75 frame because it's got this carbon fiber brace on the bottom. And yeah, I mean, we're building something that's going to need a half decent tune on it to deal with the extra weight that's going to be up really high. So yeah, I'm going to try really hard to get these Acro Bs going. If this doesn't work and the X12 AIO doesn't work, that's kind of it. I don't know of any other AIOs that'll take 2S. This much of a dead weight absolutely needs 2S. Like there's no way around that. There are other AIOs that support 2S, but they don't have VTXs or receivers built in. And it's going to be a real motherfucker to fit a receiver and or a VTX in with this guy under this Goober canopy. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's going to be one of those builds that's just got shit everywhere, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. So yeah, I don't know. Well, this is interesting. I did not need to take that front screw out, but whatever. It's out of there now. Realistically, I need to pull this canopy off. I'm not gonna try to just keep pushing this canopy and antenna out of the way. This is a custom antenna that Hugo made for me. It's a little bit shorter than the short, but it's a little bit longer than the ultra short. Hugo will absolutely make you a custom length antenna. You just got to ask him in the notes. So yeah, there you go with that. So yeah, this Flywoo receiver can go to hell. I truly cannot believe that so many companies are currently making Express LRS receivers that are out of spec and don't work. It seems completely insane to me. But hey, this is the problem with open source. But especially like this is the problem with brand new open source products. That's the what I should really say there. It's the Wild West, and yeah, super annoying though. God damn it! Like I wasted a lot of hours trying to get this thing to work, just feeling like a complete dumbass that couldn't do the most basic of things, which was basically to bind a receiver. And you know, the ELRS documentation is way better than it was, but it's not just a point and shoot thing. It's a very open source kind of, you got to know what you're doing, you got to be willing to read, you got to be willing to search, kind of thing. And that's you know, that takes time. So we've got, let's just see, are the pads in the same spots? Did they really not silkscreen on the goddamn EP2 what the fucking pads are? Are you kidding me? Alright, hold on. This is real life. Happymodel EP2. Alright. Alright, cool. Happymodel EP2, PP is what I needed. RXTX 5-volt grounds. Let's see, is that the same thing as Flywoo? Of course not. It's completely reversed from Flywoo. Why wouldn't it be reversed? Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's completely ass opposite of the Flywoo. Wow. That's, why would they do that? Why? I demand satisfaction. I demand to be told why. On these Newbie Drone Acro B V3s, there are no pads for the receiver. You have to use a very specific little plug that they sell on their website. Apparently, you also need to knock a little resistor off of the board. But yeah, I think it's down here in the corner. I don't remember yeah, I don't know. We're gonna leave it as it is, and we're gonna get a receiver on there that is in spec, and then if it doesn't work, we'll dig into that. I remember seeing an article. Somebody sent me a web page talking about that. I feel like I might have already knocked the damn thing off the board, or maybe I didn't. No, I didn't, because it's right there. Okay, so yeah, we might need to do another little something. Can you guys tell that I'm a little frustrated by this whole thing already? Let's tin up the EP2 first, and let's use this flux paste, because I haven't used it yet. Let's use this janky little plunger. I feel like I need to take this piece of plastic out and replace it with the plunger. Hold on, let me see. Can I even get it out? I might not even be able to get it out. Let's see here. Come on. Come on. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it out. Oh wait, no, there's a thing on the bottom. There's a little nipple that I can maybe grab. Rotate. Let's see. Hey, there it goes. Well, now there's a huge air pocket in this thing. Okay. So now I got this big, hopefully that wasn't a mistake to pull that out of there, but whatever. So now in theory, this plunger will, hopefully the plunger's the right size. Oh shit. The plunger's not the right size, is it? That's why they had that piece of plastic in there. Or maybe it is. Hold on. Maybe it is. I think it is. Okay, it is. Yeah. Alright, the flux paste is not getting past the plunger. Alright, so cool. Now the plunger will sit in there a little bit nicer. Alright, so let's try out this flux paste here. It should be, it should just stay exactly where I put it. So put a little, oh yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Oh yeah. So the flux pen is great, and the flux pen is really quick, and it's got a little cap on it, and it doesn't have a little needle end, it doesn't have a wobbly plunger, but if I hit this with a flux pen, that flux would just kind of like ooze all over the place, which is fine, but this is way more satisfying. And, you know, sometimes that's all that matters. All right, so let's get a little... this is probably way too much flux on these, but hey, it'll get the pads incredibly hot. So let's get these tinned up here real quick. 1, 2, 3, and 4. What happened to that last one? It looks like hell. Last one's not loving life, but it's probably the ground pad. Is it? Sure enough. Oh, wait, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's the RX pad. Okay, so it is... Is it completely opposite? I think it is completely opposite. RX, TX, 5-volt ground. Yeah, it's completely opposite. So, let's remove it from this other one. We might as well use the paste again. And just a little bit there, a little bit there, there, and there. Man, it's nice that it stays exactly where you put it. I gotta be honest. I'm kind of digging that. Bob Noxious says, oh no, we got that. Kiz Bartlett says, you can build a budget NAS box using an old workstation PC from Craigslist. Just make sure it's got 1 gigabyte per second Ethernet. It's a shame you're in the States because I'm always finding free PCs. That sounds cool, Kiz, but man, time is the one thing that eludes me the most nowadays. So I would much rather spend a couple extra bucks and just get something that's going to work. I just need to find something that's going to work. Because this box that I got is very, very slow. I am going to potentially keep this box, though, because I have a bunch of 1 terabyte drives that, for the time being, are... hey, somebody type this in the chat. Blue, yellow, red, black. Blue, yellow, red, black. That's the sequence of these wires that I need to remember. Yeah, I have a bunch of 1 terabyte drives that, for the time being, before I snag some extra 4 terabyte drives, I'm probably going to use those for backup, to back up like the most important of things. So hey, let's use our Massadhesive's thermally resistant putty for this. This is a perfect job for this stuff. So we can take this little guy and push it into the putty, which will kind of hold it vertically, and then I can just pull the wires on out here. So... oh man, this thing got hit. Okay, that should be a little bit better. A little bit better, it's a little crooked. My apologies for the crookedness here. I can just do that and it won't appear to be crooked to you guys. Alright, let's get these guys off of here. Oh my god, that putty though. Jeez. Wow, okay. I gotta be honest, that's real nice. I can just come in with the tip of the soldering iron and just push into that flux paste, and it just lights up the whole... that was, yeah, that's pretty slick. Anybody want this Flywoo receiver? $4 for shipping, and it's yours. Otherwise, it's going in the garbage can. I don't know what the hell you're going to do with it. Maybe if you remove the antenna, maybe the antenna is just what's out of spec, so maybe you can just break the ceramic antenna off and replace it with a little piece of wire and it'll be fine. I don't know. All right, here we go. Kevin Sumner says, read up on the 3-2-1 backup strategy. It's important for that you want to keep. Yeah, I remember reading that a while ago. I think it's like 1 needs to be off-site. Kevin Sumner says, and you're right, most RAID types are dead because of modern drive sizes. B-Man says, what's up? Timbo Slice says, will a naked DJI setup fit in one of those frames? Technically, yes, but it's going to get really tall. And it's just going to be kind of a mess. I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm not going to say I wouldn't do that. I mean, I personally wouldn't, but yeah, the whole tiny whoop with DJI thing, it's really going to hurt the way that it flies. I mean, although I guess it's not going to fly any worse than this. It'll actually fly a little bit better than this. So, but yeah, I mean, technically it won't fit in the frame, but it'll fit on top of the frame. So you'll have your AIO, and then you'll have the gigantic naked vista, and then you'll have a camera up here on top. So yeah, it'll look silly. It won't crash worth a shit. But if you just want to fly it around like a Cinewhoop, and or you're going to use the footage for something, then yeah, I guess it's good. For me, the whole point of these setups with the Insta360 GO is that the footage out of the Insta360 GO is shockingly good. So yeah, I can have something with these that produces really, really nice footage, totally safe, and in situations that you really won't be able to fly anything that's sort of louder. With a Vista, you know, that makes me think like freestyle flying, and that's not, in my opinion at least, that's not what you'd want to do with this kind of a build. This is more of a cinematic kind of build. But you know, who says that that my way of doing it is the right way? You know, who the hell am I? Okay, so let's go. I think blue was the first one, right? That I said? I don't know. Timbo Slice says the BetaFPV ELRS receivers seem to hold up well for me. Timbo, there's a chart of basically how good the receivers are. Somebody in chat might be able to drop a link to it. Dusty Joe says not hard to know not hard to know that resistor off, a little nerve-wracking, but it works. Yeah, I might need to do that. Steve E with a $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, aloha, CiottiFPV. Could you explain the Mob6 golden tomb, or is there a link/video I've missed? Have a great stream. Basically, just grab the master slider and turn it all the way up. Mine are all the way up at 2.0. If you bring it up to 2.0 and it's being weird, bring it down to 1.8 or 1.6. But yeah, nowadays tuning is a joke. Tuning nowadays is just taking the master slider and just running it up as high as you can. It's really ridiculous. So yeah, man, thanks for the support, much appreciated. Timbo Slice says conformal coat with no heat shrink. They get too hot. What are you talking about, Timbo Slice? What are we conformal coating with no heat shrink? Kevin Sumner says blue, yellow, red, black. Awesome, thank you, dude. EFPV says green, purple, orange, gray. Got it. Check. All right. Here we go. And just checking the wiring diagram one more time. Okay, so we're good. I'm going to put this guy straight up like this. I'm going to spin this around. And I'm going to drop the little wiring harness. Okay, so I want to come down from the top like this, and then we're going to do the blue. All right, cool. So I am going to reflux this. This is super annoying. This is the little cable that you need from Newbie Drone to hook up an external receiver to the little port. There's no pads to do this. They didn't use silicone-coated wires. These are PVC-coated wires, so that's super annoying. Basically what it means is that you just need to be quick. So get it fluxed and get it in a good position before you bring the tip of the soldering iron down, and you'll be totally fine. It's not the end of the world. It is admittedly super annoying, but as long as you get flux on there and as long as you have the wire in position, you shouldn't really need to be spending more than a split second on each pad. I'm even going to tin the tip of the iron because this is the pad that didn't really take a lot of solder. So here we go. Let's get this first one. This is the RX, and it's just that easy. give it a second to cool down and solidify, and then we're going to do yellow for TX. I need to push this down a little bit farther into the putty. All right, yellow for TX, get it in position. And good to go. And then we've got 5 volt, then ground. All right, and now I'm going to have to start doing it with the little thin-tipped tweezers here. With these PVC-coated wires, if you're going to use tweezers, stay as far away as you can from where you're going to be applying the heat, because the tweezers will push right through the PVC. It's super annoying. All right, good to go there. But as you can see, it's totally doable. This is also the second time that I've done this with this wiring harness. So the PVC is already kind of mangled a little bit down towards the stripped part. All right, that should be good to go. Let's take a quick look with our 5X loop. If you don't have one of these, you need to get one. They are an essential tool for doing soldering work. Looks pretty good. The yellow and the reds are a little close together. With these, you got to be super careful because the PVC wire insulation melts like crazy. So you just got to make sure that your wires are away from each other. Don't rely on the coating to insulate the wires from each other. Just make sure that the wires are away from each other enough that they're not going to freak out. All right, so I'm going to use a big old piece of VHB on this rather than the shrimp wrap to keep it from to isolate it from the AIO itself. So let's get that going here. I started doing that on the. It looks nice with the shrink wrap on it, but ELRS runs really hot, and we're putting it directly on top of the AIO, which also runs hot. So yeah, I would rather have it be have a little bit better cooling. All right, so we're gonna put it on that way, and if you cut your VHB like this, one side, and then flip it over and cut it on the other side, rather than just cutting it in the middle and then pulling on it. If you do it this way, that I'm showing you here, it's so much easier to remove the wax backing that it's literally worth the time. Like, you'll spend more time by quickly cutting it and pulling it and ripping it off the roll, trying to get the goddamn backing off, than if you just cut it on both sides like that. So yeah, do that. And nice big piece here. I'm going to overlap it on top of the solder joints. And yeah, that's going to be totally fine to keep that insulated. And so now let's come on in here and we're going to plug this in first, and then we'll figure out how the wires are going to fold over. So it's this little black plug header here. And I don't know which side is up, but I think it's the exposed wire. Yeah, it'll only plug in one way, so it doesn't even matter. And this is actually nice. These pads are oriented in a way that the wires don't have to cross over each other. On the Flywoo, with the pads reversed, these wires all crossed over one another. It doesn't really matter, but it's just sort of one of those things. All right, so we're going to put this here. I hate... So the gyro is right here in the middle. I really wish I didn't have to put it right on top of that, but I kind of do, because the goober canopy comes down and sort of like restricts where you can put this thing. So yeah, like you can't quite put it far enough back. There's also a bind/boot button back there. What I'm going to do though is make a hard 180-degree turn here with the wires at the plug, just to keep them the hell away from the propeller. You know, I might be able to put this over here It's still going to touch the gyro. It's still going to touch the butt. All right. Can't really put it far forward because you've got the camera up there. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to tuck it in up over here. I think I can get away with it right here. And it's just barely touching the corner of the gyro. So I think that might be the best kind of spot for it. So let's just push down a little bit here. Let this VHB really mold itself to the board to make sure this doesn't come off. The other worry about not shrink wrapping it is if this pops off, it could potentially touch something you don't want it touching on the board. So there that is. Let's let me grab the canopy, and we'll see how that kind of fits. I might actually need to reposition it. Let's take a quick look. Nah, it looks like we're good. That's going to sit there. The ceramic antenna is close to the top of the canopy, but I think it's going to be totally fine. And I think that's as far away from the gyro as I can get it. So yeah, we're going to leave it there. That looks okay. So this is the kind of fiddly bit here. You got to get, with this ultra short antenna, you got to plug it in like now, and you also need to plug the camera in. So stand by for maximum fiddliness. This camera plug needs to go right here. And oh, I got it on the first shot. Look at me go. I've only done this about 1 billion times. I've been using these NubiDrone Acrobeat boards for years, and they've had this little camera plug set up for that entire time, so I'm kind of good at it. If you guys, if it takes you 20 minutes to get this plugged in, I've been there. Just keep at it. All right, so there we go. So the camera is plugged in, plug is seated all the way, and then the UFL is right next to it. And so I'm going to go around the side of the ELRS ceramic antenna, and we'll just snap that in, and hopefully there's enough length on this. Yeah, it's perfect. All right, beautiful. So that's it. That's fully on there. So let's get the front shorter screw on first, which doesn't interface with the canopy at all, and then we'll put the 3 canopy screws on. And I just realized I don't have any batteries charged for this to test fly it. So let's really quickly throw 4 BT 2.0 batteries on the little charger over here, so that hopefully by the end of the stream we can put this up in the air and see if it goes bananas or cooperates. And I'm going to use shitty little BetaFPV batteries, because if it goes bananas, it's going to put a ton of stress on the batteries, and I don't want to wreck my good Weebleed FPV batteries. So, yeah, let me just grab a couple of these out. I've got these BetaFPV 260 mAh batteries, which are like not great. So these will be the sacrificial abuse takers in case this thing is going to get angry on me when I run it. Plug it in. So 1 plugged in, 2 plugged in, 3, 4, and charge, you bastards. There we go. Cool. Let me get the last 2 of those. I also have a couple of these 300s, BetaFPV 300s in BT 2.0. These are actually the ones that I should be using. Although I don't know, the 260s, I mean, that, you know, that's the equivalent of like a 260 2S, and I mean, compared to 1S, you know, 2 260s is 520. It's the same amount of total milliamp hours as a 1S 520. And that's pretty good. So, all right. This guy's good to go. Let's get a couple more screws in, and we will try to get this bound. Binding ELRS is always not always, but I haven't done it quite enough to be like fully comfortable with it. It's always a little bit of a guessing game. But the fact that they go into Wi-Fi mode, I think Wi-Fi mode seems to be the easiest way to bind them. Trying to do it any other way seems to be very finicky, and it's very like it just won't work. It won't work. It won't work. You'll do the same thing over and over again, and then magically it'll work. It's very weird. Or maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know. But the Wi-Fi mode is really slick. There's a little gnat that was just crawling on my hand, and I just crushed him, and he didn't even try to run away. He just died like a little dumbass. Kevin Sumner says, stop binding ELRS and switch to password bind already. I already do. That's already what I have set up. But I think you still have to do something with the externals, right? I think SPI are the only ones that you can drop it into the CLI. See, this is an example. Like, I'm just dumb. But yeah, I don't know. We'll deal with that in a minute. You guys are way smarter than I am, so I'll just ask you what to do, and then hopefully you'll tell me, and I'll just do it. All right, and I want to get these guys tight, but not too tight. Yeah, I have a password bind of CiottiFPV. Okay. But you still have to do some sort of a binding procedure, right? Like this EP2 doesn't just magically know that I have that CiottiFPV thing, right? I assume. Okay, so that's back together. Newbie Drone Flow 1102 10,000s 2S. I'm going to run it at 100% throttle limiting, and we'll see. Hopefully it just works. I doubt it, but you know, my fingers are crossed that it will just fucking work. Moving on to the next one, because I can't put that up in the air yet since the batteries aren't charged. So this guy's missing motors. This guy has motors but no AIO. It's kind of the same amount of work. Paul McDonald says, got a failsafe question for you. On my Cinesplore ELRS 900 FPV cycle motors, Acon ESC in there, dropped out of the air 2 times last week, put a new ESC in, and it did it again. Is it failsafing, Paul, or is it desyncing? A desync will be very obvious because a desync, it will basically death roll. One of the motors will drop out, and it'll tumble to the ground. A failsafe, it'll just kind of turn off, so it'll start falling straight down, and then usually the aerodynamics will take over, and they'll flip upside down, and they'll fall down kind of like a leaf. It looks completely different. So yeah, depending on what it's doing, depending on how it's falling out of the air, yeah, that's gonna determine what the hell's going on. Timbo Slice says the crystal oscillator spec is based on temperature. Interesting. So I guess that's what so many of these guys are getting wrong on the receivers. Wild. Kevin Sumner says Express ELRS wiki page for the out of spec problem. Awesome. I knew somebody would drop the link. Thank you, dude. Fat Pastor says, do you have a link for that putty? It is at massadhesive.com. Massadhesive.com. There you go, brother. It's really good stuff. Yeah, it's I really like it. It's it doesn't melt like silly putty. I stopped using the Funtac for years because I just got sick of it melting and making a mess. This stuff does not. Not to mention that this stuff is specifically designed to not absorb heat, because you don't want that. Like, you don't want the thing that's something that I remember my dad telling me about when he taught me how to solder, is that you got to pay attention to whatever is touching what you're working on. Whatever is touching what you're working on is going to pull the heat out, and you don't want that. You want to keep the heat on the solder pad to get the job done, to get the work done as quick as possible. So like if you're holding a wire with your fingers, the heat's going to travel up into your fingers. You can feel that. If you're holding it with a big fat pair of tweezers or pliers or something, same deal. The heat's going to wick into those big fat pliers. That's why I use little tiny skinny tipped tweezers, because there's less of a surface area to absorb heat. More of the heat is going to stay in the wire in the pad. So yeah, it's awesome that this stuff is specific. That's why it's called thermally resistive putty. It's trying to not absorb heat. And that's a good thing. Kevin Sumner says those Flywoo receivers have a bad crystal oscillator. Antenna trimming won't fix it. Well, there you go. I'm gonna throw it away because it's worthless, unless one of you guys really wants it. But I gave you a chance, and I don't see that anybody wanted it, so it's gone. It's gone forever. I'm not digging through the garbage. It would just make you want to scream. Veritas Weezer says, hey, what brand wrist watch are you wearing? It looks retro. This is a Shark Freestyle. Old school Shark Freestyle. I had the smaller version of one of these when I was a kid. And then, yeah, I don't know. I was farting around on the internet, and this popped up, and I was like, oh, man, that's the most retro cool fucking thing ever. And I went on eBay, and you can get them for, like, no money on eBay. It was like $20. It's obviously upside down. Look at this. It's got night vision, yo. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but... Nah, you can't really see it. Hold on, let me turn this off. It's got night vision, bro. You could totally just see it. Look at that. Look at that night vision, yo. Right, it's going to turn off. There it is. Remember that shit? Man, I remember when I was growing up, that was like peak technology. Like, oh my god, it's got a light in it? That's incredible. That's how fucking old I am. And moldy. Don't forget moldy. Let's do the motor rig first. Let's see if these BetaFPV motors they have a little PCB on them, but let's see if the PCB is set up. Timbo Slice with a $10 super chat. Thank you, homie, for the support. Very cool of you. He built a 95X with a Naked Vista Nano Pro and 4S. It flew amazing, but unfortunately it's so fast it turns to dust when it hits anything. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge. Really good call. Thank you for mentioning that, Timbo Slice. That's another part of the whole philosophy of these things is this is an attempt to keep the weight as absolutely low as possible. That is a big part of what I'm trying to do with these tiny lifters. I don't know if that's a consideration with the Cinelifters. I would think that it is. Maybe, but in fairness, it could also straight up just be that we don't have the motors didn't really exist that were the right size for like to build a Cinelifter that flies like a 5-inch freestyle rig. But yeah, so that's a big part of what I'm doing here, is just trying to keep the weight as low as possible so that they're as accurate as possible, right? The heavier it is, the harder it's going to be to shoot gaps because it has much more momentum. So every time you go to try to turn it, it's going to want to keep going straight, right? So the lighter it is, the easier it is to fly and shoot gaps. But yeah, also it's to try to maintain some sort of durability, which is really hard to come by with tiny whoops when you go to anything bigger than 1S. So yeah, Timbo Slice knows what's up, and I just stripped the shit out of this screw, didn't I? What is happening? Why won't this screw come out? Whoever invented Phillips head screws, I'm just going to figure out where their grave is and piss all over it. Just the goddamn worst. The fact that we haven't moved to star everything is really just a sign of how goddamn dumb and stubborn we are. Alright, so I also need to put ELRS on this. I mean, it is technically set up for FR Sky right now with these little antennas, but I'm taking those off. That's absolute nonsense. Man, I am about to have an allergy attack. Something is Itching like a motherfucker on my nose. Hey, look, shirt of the day is one of my shirts, actually. Get yourself one. I saw TweetFPV wearing one of these the other day in blue. It was super awesome. Yeah, this is available over on CiottiFPV.com. You scroll down, you hit the Teespring button, and yeah, you can get yourself a collective shirt. Look at that. Bunch of different colors. TweetFPV had it in dark blue. It looked pretty cool. I dig it in the green, though, because, you know, the Borg and all. Veritas user says, background lighting on your wristwatch was patented by a Xerox engineer. No shit. He saw the material used to charge the particles glow and got the idea to use it as backlighting. That's super cool. Because Bartlett says, did you ever kick off the stopwatch every now and again just to prove how badass those watches are? Yeah, when I first got this, I was like, oh my god, right, it's got a fucking stopwatch on it. And I turned it on and I was like, oh, look at that. If I ever don't have my phone on me, I'll still have a stopwatch. Abraham says, working on a build, having a moment. What is the TX RX UART between 5-inch for again? Just ESC telemetry, in which case it's not needed, right? What? What is the transmit receive UART between 5-inch for again? What do you mean between 5-inch? What's that mean? Just ESC telemetry, in which case it's not needed, right? I still hook up the ESC telemetry. I mean, like, you kind of might as well, but it is pretty worthless. June Loco says calculator watches were dope too. You know, so I was on a shoot a few months ago, and one of the guys there had a gold calculator watch, old school calculator watch, and that's what got me thinking about like getting a retro watch. And then when this popped up, I was like, ooh, perfect. I actually never had a calculator watch. I'm just too curious about I do need to do the receiver, but I'm just so curious whether or not I'm going to be able to solder to these motors that I'm going to peel the shrimp wrap off right now and figure that out. So let's see. They've got the shrimp wrap really on here. Hey, look at that. That's what I wanted to see. So there we go. Very cool. The Logitech is, of course, not going to focus because Logitech can go fuck themselves with a large coarse file. But there, as you can see by the out of focus silver shiny balls there, yeah, this is going to be totally fine to solder directly to. And then I've got a set of the JST 1.25 plug headers here. At some point, I will probably direct solder these, but for right now, with the testing that I'm doing, I'm going to keep them all on these JST 1.25 connectors. So I can kind of move motors around, move motors back and forth, shit like that. Danzilla Terrell says, I just ordered that exact same shirt in green, waiting on the mailman. Thank you, brother, for the support, Danzilla. Very, very cool of you. Kevin Summer dropping the CiottiFPV.com link. Thank you, dude. PJ says, nothing better than working on your first 5-inch build, listening to a CiottiFPV live stream. Don't forget to hit the like button for the greatest stream. I gotta get faster.
In the world.
Did that play? It looked like it was a little short. Oh my god, really? Get out of here. Oh man, Price is Wrong glitched out again. Price is Wrong does not work right. I think because maybe it's trying to play a video file too, I guess. Abraham says, between the flight controller and ESC on a 5-inch. Got it. Yep. That's the only reason. ESC telemetry. Yeah, I mean, you might as well do it. You might as well do it, to be honest. Dude, I'm digging this this flux paste. It doesn't really take much longer than the flux pen to put on, and the fact that it stays exactly where you put it, you can get a lot more on there. With the flux pen, because it runs away, like when you bring the tip of the soldering iron down, it all burns off like immediately, and it's just instantly gone. This paste, like, since there's a lot more of it on there, it just works better. It transfers the heat a lot faster because there's so much more of it. I am digging this flux paste, man. I gotta be honest. All right, so I want to take the shrimp wrap off of here, and I'm gonna put it onto the little newbie drone leads here, just for a neat and tidy installation. Totally worthless, to be honest, but it'll look better. And I'm all about looks, you guys know that. How could someone as handsome as me not be all about looks? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Okay, I'm finished. You guys, I'm sure everyone knows what that's from. Those floppy-headed Canadians. All right, so let's get these blopped on here. We're going to do a little bit more paste. Flux really helps with these asininely small jobs that you're working on. It really is worth the extra couple of seconds to make sure that everything is fluxed. Anytime that the sizes get really small like this, you can't cut corners. 5-inch rigs are so much fun to build because like you can completely half-ass everything. The pads are all nice and big. It's just so simple. But when the size gets really small, make sure that you're practicing all your fundamentals and just be as patient as you possibly can. And yeah, it's going to go an awful lot better for you. So let me get this just tilted up a little bit more so I don't have to work. So I don't want you guys to have to stare at my crotch. There we go. All right, so here we go. This shit is hard, man. Like with soldering to tiny whoops, it's just stupid. We shouldn't have to do it. But if you can get the job done, and it's like swinging with a weighted bat. Like if you can do this, it's really good practice because it's the hardest thing you're gonna do, and it's gonna make like working on a 5-inch rig seem like a fucking joke. These wires are silicone coated, so I can grab them up close to the exposed bit of wire with the tweezers. Yeah, this is completely doable. It's super annoying, and like I have to rework this because the tip of the soldering iron is so big, is like 10 times bigger than the size of the pad that I literally just couldn't see. That I was putting it on there completely sideways, but yeah, it is doable. You're gonna be frustrated, but it's gonna set the bar, and everything else you do is gonna seem like a complete joke. So that's what I keep telling myself. Kind of nice having a little cricket background sound effect with the window open here. All right, that looks pretty good. I actually think I'm going to rework this first one because it's kind of sitting up a little high on the pad. I want it to sit nice and flat. Really doesn't matter. It's a tiny whoop. It's never going to get yanked, but if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look with the 5X loop, and then we'll pull the shrink wrap down and move on to the next. Oh yeah, we're good to go. Yeah, the middle one could definitely be a little bit better. But again, it's a tiny whoop. It's not going to get pulled. We're going to give it a little tug here. Nothing broke off. We're good to go. And let's pull the shrimp wrap down. See if it'll go back over. We might need to stretch it out a little bit. Nope, we're good. Pops right back over. And now we're fully protected. It almost looks like we were never even in there. There we go. There it is. Nice and out of focus. Thanks, Logitech. Go to hell. Oh, it focused! Oh my god! What kind of a weird world is this that we live in tonight? Get these guys twisted up a little bit just to, you know, make it look a little better. Why is that not twisting up properly? Twist up properly, yo. Oh, did I solder these not? I got 2 of them. Did I get 2 of them switched? Nah, we're good. We're good. Let's spin them up the other way. PJ says, glad I'm started. why I'm glad I started with 75 millimeter whoops. Yeah. Kevin Sumner says the tip is too big, you say? No such thing. No such thing as a tip that's too big. Just ask my ex-wife. Hey-o! All right. One pretty little BetaFPV 1102 18,000. Now we just need to redo that 7 more times. Kill me. Paul McDonald says, have you had any desync issues on the new FPV cycle motors Bob made? I haven't had any desync issues, but I've had every other issue. Like, I don't know what's going on, man. I cannot get that rig tuned properly. It's kind of a nightmare. I don't get it. I don't get it. But we're going to keep trying on it, and I'll have some answers soon. But I don't have any answers yet. They're are you getting desyncs with them? Is that why you're asking? Eva FPV says, how much flight time do you get from the 6S 1050s when flying a Hero 10 on 5-inch? I got 4 minutes even on my Apex, but that was flying down to 3.2 volts. If I'm pushing really hard, I'll get about 4 minutes. I usually don't push that hard. I'll usually get 5 minutes, but super flight style and all up weight dependent. If I remember correctly, Eva, your builds are over 700 grams, so that would explain why there's such a drastic difference in flight time between mine and yours. But yeah, between 4 and 5 minutes, sometimes more than 5 minutes, but yeah, usually right at about 5 minutes. Paul McDonald says, well, shit, back to the pancakes from now then, I guess. Paul McDonald says, yep. Really? You're getting desyncs? It happened on 48K, then also now on 24K, but with no wobbles. And Paul, did you say that you've switched the ESC? What the hell? That's not great. Do me a favor, Paul. Shoot me a message and remind me about that, and I'll shoot Bob a message tonight and ask him if he's had anybody complaining about desyncs on the 2104s. I don't think that the higher KV that we requested would have anything to do with desyncs. I don't think that's how it works. I think if a motor is prone to desyncs, it has to do with I think the main component is the size. The motor can't be too wide in the ratio of height to width. There are some other things, though. I just can't remember them for the time being. Sleepy CBR sent PayPal for the stickers. Awesome, brother. 1 sticker pack left. Sleepy CBR got the second to last one. Sleepy, did you put your address in there? And did you tell me if you wanted a window cling or a sticker by chance? Paul McDonald says, yeah, I had the Pyro Acon in there at first, then went to the Mamba on 8-bit, 24, and 48. KK sounds good, bro. Shit, man. That sucks. Does anybody else have the FPV Cycle 2104s by chance? All right, let's start ripping through these. Although, I don't know if those batteries are going to be charged tonight. That charger's pretty slow, so we might not be able to fly these tonight. I would love to get the rig that's on the Newbie Drone flow motors up in the air, though, even just for a second. But I'm going to have to go through the goddamn binding and... Ugh. Pain in the ass. Come on now. Shrink wrap, get off of there. Get off of there. Oh, you know what's nice? I actually need these. I need these JST 1.0 leads for the 0802 30,000 kV tiny whoop motors that I'm pulling off of the Freestyle Newbie Drone 65mm rig. So this is kind of nice. I'll reuse these. Alright, Sleepy CBR deleted a message. Alright, come on. Come on, shrink wrap. Get out of there. Why are you fighting me so hard? Come on, just cooperate, yo. There you go. Thank you. Thank you! God. Gosh. Alright. And let's get some paste on here. Let's eat some paste. Yeah, I'm going to go through this solder paste with the quickness. I am liking it. Awesome. Thank you, Sleepy CBR. Much appreciated. That makes my life 1,000 times earlier. Earlier? Easier. Easier is the word. Okay. Let's do another one. Let's do another mooter. Okay. I think there's actually enough of the paste left over that I can just zip this other one right on here. So let's pull the shrimp wrap off, swap it over, and we'll try to just sneak this one on there without reapplying the paste. Famous last words. But hey, you gotta look for little time savers wherever you can. All right, shrimp wrap down, and let's give this a quick shot. See what happens. Here we go. And come on. Come on. There we go. All right, first one. My God, this is so fucking difficult. It's just so stupidly small. There's not enough paste. Nah, we're good. There's way too much of the exposed wire hanging off. I gotta rework this one. All right, that's better. Yeah, no, we're gonna get some more paste on here. It's just flux, I should say. It's yeah, with these small joints, it's worth it to take the extra second here and do it absolutely perfect. Okay, let's hit this one more time. It's in the right position, but it didn't. I didn't get a good clean solder on there. Much better. Much better. Fuck. Okay. Problem I was having just now is that the tweezers were pushing up against the side of the little tin here. I could fix that by taking the putty out of the tin, but instead I can actually use that to my advantage. I can use the side of the tin as like bone support, basically, to steady myself. With this tiny little stuff, any tiny little bit of shake that you've got, which I certainly have, becomes a really big problem. So yeah, if you can get some like artificial kind of bone support by using the corner of something, it's going to help out quite a bit. So that's what I'm doing. There we go. That's the stuff. That joint is a little bit cloudy, but it'll be all right. 5x loop, and good enough. not perfect, but when you're working this small, it's really hard to get them perfect. So yeah, lower your standards a little bit. The joint, basically, like, my thought process or whatever is that as long as on this little tiny stupid stuff, as long as the joints are going to be strong, just throw out the window trying to get them to be really good looking and pretty and shiny and perfect. Just make sure that they're strong. Make sure that there's enough solder, but not too much solder. Make sure that you have a nice little convex meeting of the wire to the pad with the blob of solder. And yeah, and just move on to the next. It's really, really, really difficult to get these tiny little pads to look as beautiful as a 5-inch rig. So yeah, in my opinion, don't even bother trying. Just wasting your time. Tinzel the Terrible says joints are always cloudy. All right, 2 more. But then we got to put the EP2 on here. It's 11:54. Damn it. Maybe we'll hang until this is done. What is this big blob of shit that got into the putty? The hell is that? Come on, get whatever. All right, next. Gotta get the shrink wrap off of there first. Come on, you bastard. Man, it is. I'll tell you what, BetaFPV did a great job with this shrink wrap. It's really hard to get this shrink wrap off of here because it's like tucked up onto the pad. Really nice. Much better than Happymodel. Happymodel does the shrink wrap thing, but it's like janky and it's easy to get off of here. These BetaFPV 1102s, whoever the hell motor manufacturer is making these, they've kind of got it going on with this shrink wrap. I can't speak to the quality of the rest of the motor, but I don't know, when I see like this being so well done and clean, it's like, well, you know, in theory, like there's somebody there that cares, so maybe the rest of the motor is kind of decent, or maybe not. Hard to tell. Let's try this. These fatter tweezers have they're like knurled, so maybe this will grab the shrink wrap and pull it a little bit better, and sure enough, that's exactly what's going on. Cool. All right, paste this on up. Kiz Bartlett says, with the difficulty of soldering on whoops, we need a motivational speech from Clamman right now. Good call, dude. Good fucking call. Stand by. I gotta get Clamman onto the Stream Deck. Hold on, I'm gonna do that right now. Configure Stream Deck. You guys can watch me do it. Configure Stream Deck. We're gonna put Clamman right in the goddamn middle. What I can do is I can just take this, copy it, put it here. Oh no, it's gonna paste the logo. I don't want that logo. What is this? This is OBS Studio Scene. So I click here, and then I look for OBS Studio Scene. Oh wait, no, it is a scene. Oh, that's right. This is you got to drag and drop it. Okay, so then scene. Oh, although that's right. The Stream Deck is broken. Yeah, the Stream Deck when I tried to update OBS and the Stream Deck software and it failed, when I backdated it, the Stream Deck software is now broken, or OBS is broken. So yeah, I can't do anything. I can't stress enough to you guys, don't try to live stream. It is just the worst goddamn thing in the entire world. Like, every single part of it is a fucking nightmare that will make you want to just cut your own head off with a dull knife. It's really awful. So that's my top tip for you. Do not live stream under any circumstances. It really is just, every part of it is like, it feels like it's specifically designed to piss you off and make you want to cry. It's really awful. Really, really awful. It's just nonstop, man. Like every part of it, like every single thing involved is like trying to get you to just completely lose your mind and stab everything in sight. And like every time that you think maybe that you're okay, something else happens, and it just all starts all over again. It's really just utter misery. Mostly on the technology side, though. Like the whole interacting and hanging out with you guys is absolutely amazing. But every other part of it sucks a big bag of donkey dicks. So don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. You're better than this. Ugh. It's really incredibly frustrating. One of the biggest lessons I've learned, though, is that once you get anything working, don't fucking touch it. Like, just don't touch anything. If you can get stuff working, unfortunately, it's not enough. Like, even though you don't touch it, it will still just explode for no reason. But yeah, as soon as something works, don't update it, don't upgrade it, don't change anything. Just leave it the hell alone for as long as possible. Eventually, it will explode for no reason, and you just hope that is as far away as possible. It is really just utter misery. So, yeah, there's that. And like, this isn't just me. Jimmy Broadbent talks about this all the time. Super GTs talks about it all the time. It's like a new thing, right? Like streaming is a fairly new thing that's not like completely set in stone, and like we're using this open source software that's constantly being changed, and like the volume is very low, right? Like Elgato only sells, I don't know, a couple of thousand stream decks or whatever, I guess. I don't know. It just sucks, man. Don't do it to yourself. You're better than that. You don't need that evil in your life. All right, middle one is good. Top one, or farthest forward, I should say. And I did not get that on there far enough. So we're just going to rework it real quick here. When I say rework, it just basically means you're putting heat back into it to liquefy the solder again. That's all. It's just a fancy word for it. One of them looks absolutely terrible. I have to redo that. It's that last one. It just looks atrocious. The wires kind of splayed out, and I just couldn't see it because it's absolutely microscopic. And we're of course doing it without a microscope set up. And of course now there's no solder on there, and it's going to be a jerk off and not transfer the heat, so we got to get some flux. I meant to say flux just now, not solder. Although there is flux and solder, so that wasn't a completely incorrect statement. There we go, that should be okay. Let's take another look. Because Bartlett says, I can agree there. I've set up a few streams myself, and you really need to put work in. I know people who create profiles on their PC just for streaming to keep it separate. Oh my god. That's actually a really good idea. Jesus. Alright, we're looking good. Timbo Slice says, do you do any sim racing? Quite a bit, Timbo. I have a big long back. Like, if you guys think I'm good at FPV, you should see me at an autocross or a track day. I've got much, much, much more time and effort and, of my life invested in going fast and teaching people how to go fast. I was an autocross and track day instructor for many, many, many years, 7 or 8 years in my 20s and my 30s. And I was always kind of, I could never afford a sim setup, but my God, has it gotten a lot less expensive, so much so that I've now got I've got like the absolute cheapest possible setup, realistically, but it's a phenomenal setup for what it is. I have a Thrustmaster T300 and the Thrustmaster shifter, the H-pattern shifter, on a Playseat Challenge, which is basically like a fold-up lawn chair, but with a thing on the front to hook the wheel and shifter too, and then a thing on the bottom for the pedals. So it's actually a really decent little setup. I'm not a PC guy though, so I don't do iRacing or modded Assetto Corsa. Luckily, Assetto Corsa for PS4 is really, really good. I'm not really into GT4 cars, so I don't do Assetto Corsa Competizione. I have it. I'm just not really as interested in it as regular old school Assetto Corsa. And GT7 I spend, well, I mean, not anymore. When I was living in the apartment, I spent a good amount of time on GT7 and Assetto Corsa and whatnot. But the kiddos here and just, new house stuff has been super time consuming, and I haven't really been able to spend much time on the sim rig. But I mean, whatever. I would much rather, at the moment, I'm loving spending time with the kids and living with the kids, right? Like I've never lived with children before, and it's just fascinating. So yeah, my priorities have shifted a little bit, but I mean, the sim rig is over there. It's just waiting, and every once in a while, like once every other week or so, I'll hop onto it, and it's a blast, and I love it. And what's nice is it scratches the itch. Like when I moved out of New Jersey to when I moved south, basically, my ability to get good paying jobs just disappeared. So all motorsports just completely hit a brick wall. And what's been nice about Assetto Corsa and GT Sport, GT7, and the sim rig is that it scratches like 80% of the motorsport itch. So I don't miss. I used to be like a mess. Like I used to just really, really, really miss being involved with autocrosses and track days and instructing and that whole scene. But yeah, I don't with the sim rig now. I don't really miss it nearly as much. Although I got to be honest, my Miata is looking like it's going to be coming home at some point here, and that will sort of reinvigorate. I already felt it when I switched the coilovers over on the Mazda 2, and I kind of felt like the buzz again. But man, yeah, when the Miata comes back, I'll definitely be wanting to get back out to an autocross. But maybe that'll be cool. I can probably convince Maggie and Felix to come with me to an autocross, and I would love to take them for a ride along to show them what cars can do, because yeah, I mean, most people just don't know that, and it's, I like sharing my life, so I would love to share that part of my life with them, because it's cool. Timbo Slice is sitting in the sim rig right now. Nice. What are you playing, dude? What are you on? Ah! I'm still waiting for you bastards to get PS4s so we can play some Diablo 3 or GT7 or Assetto Corsa or any number of other things. I think that's kind of it though. I think those are the sort of only online games that I have any interest in. I wish Rebel Galaxy was had a multiplayer mode. It's one of my favorite PlayStation games of all time that nobody in chat has probably heard of. Really, really great game though. Total like cult classic game. All right. I am just going to immediately put flux back onto these so that I don't skimp out on doing it like last time and have trouble. Yeah, this little syringe tip applicator, this is fantastic for this absurdly small work. Although, you know what, I should have just hit this with the flux pen to do a straight one-to-one comparison, because maybe the flux pen is just as good on this stuff. I'll do one more motor because I'm not going to do 4 more motors because it's already past midnight. But I'll do one more motor, and I'll use the flux pen, and we'll see if there's a drastic difference between the two. There might not be, but I think there will be. I think there will be a difference. I think this this paste syringe thing is pretty rad. Because Bartlett says, sounds like FPV mainly replaced that motorsport addiction. A lot of people in FPV seem to get that from past hobbies like skateboarding. Yeah, very much so. FPV initially was the cheapest possible like thing to get a huge adrenaline dump. It came at a perfect time where I was, I was making less money than I had since I was like 21 years old, and just like really, really, really struggling. And that's why, like, I often talk about how, like, when people say that FPV is expensive, I'm like, no, 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 no. FPV is literally the cheapest hobby I've ever had. It can be expensive if you make it expensive, but it absolutely does not have to be. And many other hobbies have to be expensive. Motorsports has to be expensive. There are ways to make it less expensive, but it's still incredibly expensive. Autocross is basically the best way to keep the cost of a motorsport addiction under control. But if you want to be competitive and after you spend a while in it, like, it does become expensive. Every other form of motorsport is just mega, though. Even like 24 Hours of Lemons, shit like that. Like, it seems like it's not expensive, but like when you really total up all the money that your team is going to spend on safety gear and shit, it's incredibly expensive. Much more expensive than autocross. So I guess you could argue that sim racing is a fairly inexpensive, but that's I don't really consider that to be motorsport, right? Like, that's video games. In the same way that, like, Velocidrone is not really flying FPV, right? Like, if you met somebody that was like, "Oh yeah, I'm into FPV, I fly Velocidrone," and you were like, "Oh, what real FPV rig do you have?" And they were like, "Well, none. I just fly Velocidrone." You'd be like, "You're not really into FPV." You know what I'm saying? Like, that's sounds kind of weird to say that, though. It's interesting. That's an interesting little thought experiment there. Because, I mean, it is the same thing. Like, you're just removing the danger. Like, with motorsport, you're removing the motor. And that's in the name. Can't have that. Man, one of the wires is trying to escape here. With, you know, the simulator, with just straight up Velocidrone, like, that is FPV, right? Like, just because we stand in a parking lot with goggles on, like, we're doing the exact same thing as somebody's doing in Velocidrone. So I guess you could make the argument that you could say that you're into FPV even if you just fly in Velocidrone. What do you guys think? There we go. Much better. Much better. Timbo Slice says, just watched a spider crawl inside my VR headset, so I'm done for the night. Oh, God, that's the worst thing ever. Abraham says, condolences to your wallet, not even once. What do you mean, Aber? Denzel the Terrible says, I have a new Xbox, stupid drunken purchase. Can I race with you? Unfortunately not. There are very few games that are cross-platform, which is just the stupidest fucking thing in the world. Like, the fact that Sony and Microsoft didn't shut the fuck up and figure out how to do cross-platform ages ago is really shameful. Like, it's really, really shameful on both of their parts. But I guess we can't bitch and moan too loudly because they are finally starting to do it with some titles. I don't know, maybe it's I don't know who's to blame. But I'll betcha Sony and Microsoft are to blame. I betcha the blame is not on the software developers. Although maybe it is. What the hell do I know? But yeah, the fact that we're just getting cross-platform in 2022 is just... That's just fucking for shame. For shame. They should be beaten with hammers for that shit. Alright, there it is. We did 4. Let's do one more. Oh no, they're on the frame. It's fine. The paste is the jam. On another live stream, we'll go back and forth. If you guys remind me, I won't remember. Paul McDonald says maybe VFPV if only sim. Denzel the Terrible says there are a lot more skin in the game flying real drones versus sim only. Yep, just like real motorsports versus simming, for sure. Kiz Bartlett says anything with cars is both expensive and time consuming. So remember repairing my melted dash wiring loom Nissan NX 1600 replacing the gearbox Mark III GTI never again. Yeah, I hate working on cars if I'm honest. It's my least favorite part of it. Abraham says you were like cars are too expensive, but I'm giving my car back, and then who knows? LOL. Yeah, I mean there's a pretty good chance the Miata will just get sold kind of right away. We'll see though. Timbo Slice is out of here. He's got to go do some therapy to try and get over the killer spider that tried to crawl into his eyeballs and lay eggs. Oh god, that's horrifying. Spider into the VR headset. What a fuck. Ugh. I'm not a spider guy. I'm not a bug guy. I did not play with bugs when I was growing up. And so, like, yeah, I'm just not into it. I'm not into them. They can all go to hell. Stay the hell away from me, bugs. You live somewhere else. I live here. Go away. Leave me alone. What is happening? How is this so incredibly... this UFL will not let go. Jesus, what? Bueller? I can't get it off. Wow, I've never known a UFL to hang on like this. Good God. There we go. My God, that was ridiculous. Jesus. All right, I'm gonna. Fair warning. I don't think we're gonna get all the way through this. I am fading, but let's just keep going for another minute or two here. Pulling off the FR Sky antennas here. Antennas, as Nick Burns pronounces it. And okay, cool. Got that one as well. There we go. Let's drop this back down on here. And so yeah, now we got to do the EP2 all over again with another little plug header. I need to figure out how long to make this plug header. So it's going to plug in there like that. And then I'm going to have to strip this PVC shielding. Let's leave it here. Let's see if the one that we got done will fly, or will it fly away? Because there are some batteries that are charged over here. So let's just let's put a pause on that. We'll finish that up on Whoop Wednesday. Yeah, I'm fucking, something has triggered the shit out of my allergies. Although I am going to need to bind this. How do I bind this? What do I do? Tell me. Someone tell me. Oh, God, I hate this. I hate having to bind these. I hate it. Won't it just, since it's the first time turning on, won't it just, like, automatically go into bind mode or some shit? Isn't that a thing that's going to happen? Oh, my God, my nose itches so bad, I just want to fucking claw it off. Let's turn the transmitter on. I'm going to hit the bind button on the Express LRS module, and maybe it'll just magically bind. Alright. Oh, well, no, I have to put power to it. Well, I also might need to pull this back apart to knock that capacitor off. So let's put power to it. It didn't blow up. That's awesome. I'm going to hit this bind button a bunch of times. There's a flashing green light on the EP2. I don't know if that's a good thing. Uses the configurator to flash it. Man, I don't have any luck with the configurator. The configurator just does not work for me. I'm calling it now. I'm going to give this like 2 minutes, and then I'm going to bail, because it's late, and I'm already a little annoyed. And I just don't want this to become a fucking big thing. All right. Come on. Betaflight, come on. Here we go. B-Brain V3 4.2.9, which I don't even think is compatible. Set up as Crossfire, which I think is correct. But I think I need to get this onto 4.3, which I have to do with the hex from Newbie Drone's website. So I'm just gonna give up. I don't have it in me. Hold on. Is that the bind command? No. _RX. Forget what the bind command is, but I don't even think I don't even think this will work on 4.2.9, right? I have to do 4.3. Yeah, it's true. Okay, great. All right, so I'm not going to update it. I'll do it tomorrow when I'm a little bit less irritated. Ooh, we did some stuff, though. We did a bunch of good stuff. Did a bunch of motors. Got that put on there. Got that EP2 put on there. Whoop Wednesday. We're going to play with all these things. Bind command is only for SPI receivers. Aha! And only need 4.3 for SPI receivers. God damn it. How do you bind it again? I forget. Oh, don't you have to like put power to it like 3 times or some shit? Let's try that. Hold on, we'll put power to it 3 times in a row, and then it'll flash.
Welcome to OpenTX.
And maybe it'll bind. That's easy enough. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do that. All right. Power. Once. Twice. 3 times. Is it 3 or 4? Flash. That means it's in binding mode. Bind, you bastard. Bind. Ah!
Low battery.
That's nice. That's nice. That's what that is. That's nice. So, I think it's bound. It's solid green now. I gotta be honest. That's doing it for me. I'm into that. I am into that.
Telemetry recovered.
Let's see if I got anything in the receiver tab. I do not! Serial UART, crossfire. What else could that be? Well, let me turn the transmitter off and we'll see if it goes away from solid green. That's the easiest way to know if you're actually bound or not. Yep. So it is bound, but it's not talking to the AIO. And I think that's because I have to knock that resistor off of the board. Because I think crossfire is what I need. But I will be putting this thing onto 4.3, and I'm not going to go digging around for the hex. Did you set up the port for the receiver? Probably not. No, I did not. Of course not. All right. I am willing to do that. Port, serial RX. I don't know which port it is. We'll just try UART 2. Receiver. Let's power the transmitter on. What's up, Brandon? Come on. All right, let's see. Hey! Would you look at that? Pitch, roll, yaw, throttle. I think this rig is set up. I think this thing is good to go. Where's the RSSI? Oh, wait, no. I think it just does it automatically, right? Whatever. Modes. Yep, modes are set up. Let's see. Let's see if it'll fly. Real quick. Let's see if it'll fly. If there are any problems with this, I'm bailing now. I'm ready to go relax. Okay. One battery. And 2 batteries. Come on. Wait. No. Yeah. Let's wrap it around like that. There we go. All right, let's see what happens. I'm just going to put it right in front of me. So it goes right into my face. Hey, it arms. Oh. Oh. Whoa. Oh. Look at this. This is a fun trick. This is a custom feature I built in. Ready? Woo. Whoa. So there's either the motors are in. Whoop. Turtle mode is apparently not set up. The motors are not ordered properly, or spinning properly, or it might not be set on set for props out. Man, that's such a quick fix, though. Hold on. It's so fast to fix that. Here we go. Motor direction is reversed, so we're good to go there. I bet you the motors are not in the right spots. Real quick. Got power. Oh, I can't. I don't have the quick wizard in here. The motors are just not spinning the right directions, I don't think. Yeah, see, 1 is going the wrong direction, 2 is correct, 3 is correct, 4 is incorrect. So 1 and 4 need to be reversed, but this is Betaflight 4.2, so in order to reverse them, well, no, it's easy. We're going to go to escconfigurator.com because I want to get BlueJay on here anyway. All right, here we go. We're just going to do this. Flash all ESCs. BlueJay, select version, 0.16, PWM 48, flash. And then, what did I say? 1 and 4 need to be reversed. Oh, it looks like BlueJay was already on here. Oh, well, this is a waste of time. Whatever. Coal power, that's 4.3. This is on 4.2 at the moment. I'm going to put this on 4.3, but not tonight. I'm just shot. I'm tired. Oh, damn it. I did not need to do this. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I don't think this will wipe all the settings out, though. So as soon as this gets done, I can just move ESC 1 and 4 to reversed, and we'll be good to go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Have a good night, Bob. Go, 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 go. Come on, come on, come on, quickly. Go faster, Blue Jay. And yes. Okay, come on. Normal to reversed, normal to reversed. Right settings. I am going to move the startup power up a little bit, just like sort of preemptively. Not much, just moving it up a little bit. Nothing crazy. We're going to write those settings. And awesome, we're good. If that doesn't fix it, that's it. That's what I'm willing to do.
Telemetry lost.
All right, battery in. Wait, no, I gotta run these wires backwards. Battery in. Bottom. And round part this way. Battery in. Bottom. And around part towards me. There we go. Let's see.
Telemetry recovered. Low battery.
It fries! This is the best any of these Tinylifters have flown. Little down on power though, I gotta be honest. Let's see where the throttle, let's see where the hover point is. Motors are nice and cool. Let's see where the hover point is with the Insta360 GO on it. I might not have the motor limiting at 100%. There's actually a pretty good chance that it's not at 100% at the moment. But I can actually look at that in the OSD. So I just plugged in the VRX and it's working. Google's, and I'm not going to record this, but I'm just going to throw the Insta360 GO up on top here and just to weigh it down. Don't record. Come on now. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's go into profile. I think it's in. Rate. Throttle Expo. No, where the hell is it? I haven't been in here in a while. Miscellaneous PP. That's where it is. Motor out limit 80%. Yeah, cannot have that with these 10,000 kV motors. There we go. All right, let's see what's what. Oh, not bad. 36. Oh, but see, now it's all wobbly. And it just completely annihilated the battery. Oh, now it's oscillating. God damn it. All right, so yeah, these are all the problems I had before. As soon as you load it down, it gets angry. All right, well, that's where it's going to have to end for the night because I can't. Yeah, damn it. All right. Balls. I was really hoping that it would just kind of work. Stop recording. Insta360 GO to. Please stop recording. There we go. Oh, man, that's super annoying. But let's just real quick. Flies great without the Insta360 on it. No, it doesn't. It's like hanging the throttle. My guess is it's an electrical noise thing. That's always been my guess. 2S is a lot to ask for from these. Man, the tune is fucking locked in though. But I mean that makes sense because it's on 2S. Yeah, man, the tune is rocking. Oh boy, don't crash this rig. This is not the crashing rig. Man, it flies really good unloaded. The runtime is even okay. And this is with the quad blades. Oh boy. Thunk. These motors have a 1.5mm motor shaft, so actually crashing them is not nearly as big of a deal. Look at this runtime. Well, it is on. This is 600 mAh worth of battery on here. The yaw authority on these tiny whoops is absolutely bananas. Well, awesome. This is a good start. I will, I'll dive into the...
Telemetry lost.
What the hell is going... Well, first thing is going to be putting 4.3 on here. Maybe with 4.3 on here, magically all will be right with the world. Probably not, but you never know. So there you go. Tinylifter with the NubiDrone Flow 1102 10,000 kV motors. What I am really excited about is that it picked up the Insta360 GO 2 at, was it 40% throttle or was it 30% throttle? Regardless, it wasn't like 80% throttle. So that's huge. Next is how do we get it to not oscillate and be super angry with that on board. But yeah, this is a good first step. Happy with that. I am cool with that. So one Tinylifter is back sort of in the air. And that's pretty awesome. Thanks for hanging, friends. I'll see you guys again on Wednesday night. We'll pour a bunch more time into these Tinylifters and see if we can get them figured out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what? What happened? The video froze. Why'd the video freeze? I'm on the camera. Where am I? What's happening? The bench cam didn't freeze. The main camera froze. What the hell? Hold on. Rebel off on. Why did that have to happen? What are you doing? Webcam utility. What do you? Oh, it's just shit the bed. What if I turn the camera off and on? Will that help? Did you try turning it off and on? Works every time. Thanks for hanging, friends. Brandon Bakes Bean says, I got your package today. I'll get to it this week. No rush. The package is the ELRS Diamond. Love you guys. Be good. CiottiFPV.com. Buy yourself something nice. Jump on the Patreon. You're going to love my nuts. See you Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Wednesday at 6 o'clock. See you there, friends. Be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And tip your waitresses and waiters. Here comes some double building flying. I don't know what double building is, but you'll find out when I find out. Henyato from Epidemic Sound. Play us some good music. Later, friends. See you Wednesday.